If push came to shove, he could probably walk here.
I doubt that's the mode of transport that he elected for this morning, but that's a second 180 of this contest for Ross Smith.
Is that your way of saying that Michael could take a scooter? That I want to see. MVG arriving in Rosmalen on a scooter. Make it happen. Well, Ross did very well to leave 162 with a maximum. His job now is to leave a double.
Little bit of indecision there as well. Yeah, did try and bring the bull into play with that last dart.
Doesn't get a shot at a double on this occasion, Stephen.
83.
Does leave one. But Ross can double his lead with a break of throw right here. Always very deliberate. Always very rigid and metronomic. Not always winning, but with darts like that, he will stand a very good chance today. He is the top seed on this board.
Pietreczko has actually been here for 2 days already because his partner was playing in the Women's Series events over the weekend. So he's had a couple of days to suss out the conditions, hasn't he?
Yeah, Jan van Veen's the same. He arrived yesterday. But if you've played here before and you know the infrastructure...
137.
Maybe this will feel like a Josh Rock kind of day because he was someone who won here in a European Tour event just under a year ago.
139.
Great darts from Ross once again. He's looking for his 9th consecutive leg against Stephen Burton in his career.
37.
And you'd certainly back him to do just that at the moment, wouldn't you? It is double 16 that he had a little bit of bother on in the opening leg, not so much in this one.
Dan Dawson's got you covered there. And we do have our non-commentary stream boards, which currently has Price and Dracht.
180.
Max Hopp against De Graaf. Gilding against Temple. Usher against Rusty Jake Rodriguez. That's stream 3. Stream 4's got 100. Martin Schindler headlining, alongside the likes of Ratajski, Bradley Brooks, Richard Veenstra, and the King, Mervyn King, is here as an alternate player because of the 12 people deciding not to attend.
96.
Yeah, and as we were saying before the action got underway, it does kind of feel like Mervyn King hasn't even lost his card, doesn't it? You made that point a little earlier.
Yeah, taking the
94.
benefit of being an excellent challenge to a player this year so far. Something that Stephen knows a lot about. But 74 will give Ross Smith a 4-0 lead.
Game shot.
He's sharpening up. That's a 12 darter. And he's improving as this game goes on.
In dispatching Welshman Rob Owen. 6-0 victory for him. Incredible start to the day.
Not entirely surprising because we know that Wessels got that in the locker. And in the middle of April, fair to say that Nyman has just done a bit of Wesselmania.
140.
Absolutely.
$85.
Couldn't give himself a dart at the bull to get a leg on the board. Will they be the last 3 darts Burton throws in this contest? Treble 17 found for bull. And it is brilliance from Ross Smith to down Burton and secure a 6-0 success, a second successive whitewash win over Stephen Burton. There you can see 50% checkout success, an average in excess of 102. And it's a sublime start to Players' Championship 13 for Smudger.
A good switch there from Victor. Looking to impose himself early, and he might have to put this young man under pressure.
180.
But he might have just had pressure for breakfast.
$39.
So with that 118, Nico Springer gets an opportunity to hold his throw. Double 16 the target, and double 16 is found. We really are being treated at the start of today's Players' Championship action. 180, followed by a 108 checkout. Just as Victor Tingstrom would have thought that he was just chiseling
99.
away. Yeah, and in terms of consistency, especially when you go on a deep run in events, that is going to be something that you'll have to address, because it will become, or it's likely to become, quite problematic.
Absolutely. If it stays the way it is, it's manageable. But if it gets any worse,
174.
it could become a huge systemic issue. Now, Tingstrom has already had a shot at a 131, and he started on the 17s. Different route this time, and almost
91.
get a shot at the second tops. Only one needed for Nico.
And this
Game
match
shot.
continues to go with throw.
But he's not the only seed who's been defeated in the first round. Daryl Gurney's out to Leon Weber.
140.
Not a particularly classic contest there. But what Nico is delivering right here is right up there with the A-grade stuff that we know he can deliver.
100.
Yeah, averaging in excess of a ton at the moment. And it's going to be down to a very makeable out after 9.
123.
Lovely setup for a single to double when he returns. On for a potential 11 darter.
99.
He's already hit tops in this match. He needs it again.
Game shot.
That's why we like watching him play, because he is just so good.
Yeah, currently 95th on the order of merit, but that is going to rise. And I do think, give it a year or
82.
two, that partnership, because I think we'll see it, will be pretty formidable. Especially if he produces darts of this
133.
caliber.
I've never seen a photograph of Nico standing next to Martin, but I think it would be quite the picture, because Springer is very tall. Martin isn't.
99.
But they could click. Just like this is clicking for Nico. It is
Game
just
shot.
superb. Making darts look easy when it really isn't.
58.
3 development tour titles to his name. Could he add a Players' Championship title? Not going to get a dart at double 19.
44.
So a 132 in the last leg. Can he better it with this 160? Well, I just expected him to find the treble 20 bed, because he's barely missed it in this match.
50.
Yeah, I think he's having a bit of a leg off here. And that says something, that 110 after 15 is a leg off for him. Victor's got to hang on. He may need to hit the bull. Now, because
49.
he doesn't, he may not throw another dart in anger again today.
94.
It's not going to be back-to-back ton-plus finishes for Nico, so another opportunity to extend this contest for Victor. Would be for a hold of throw,
9.
and he's unable to do it, so those very well could be the last 3 he throws, and they are,
Game
because
shots
Nico
and the
Springer
match. Nico
rounds off
Springer.
a special performance to down Victor Tingstrom. There's an 11 darter, a 12 in there as well, with a spectacular 132 out. 60% checkout success in total. Victor Tingstrom, after the opening few legs, limited opportunities at the outer ring, and it is the German who progresses through to the last 64. And he's looking to make the most of it, currently 5-2 up in his opening game, averaging in the high 90s. He's somebody
123.
who you'd not be surprised to have a good run in one of these 2 events, if not both.
There's
someone who loses their tour card and just says, I'll win it back. But in the meantime, I'll play a lot of darts anyway. Beautiful. Tops for Ricardo.
117.
Almost perfect. But 3 very well thrown shots. Looks like this one's going to be tied after 2.
93.
Nice use of the centre there from Lucas.
Game shot.
But it is in Veen. We are level. Unfortunately, Stephen Burton couldn't do that against Ross Smith because he was just too good.
Yeah, it just allows the opportunity for more narratives, more stories
140.
to be carved out over the course of a contest, doesn't it? But you mentioned the shirt from Ricardo. The darts as well, always thrown. Black first, which he wanted to be in the treble 19, was willing for it to be. Then the red dart, and then the yellow, always
58.
thrown third. It's a routine he's employed and always sticks to. Double 12 now for Lucas Wenig to re-establish an advantage.
66.
This is a big chance all of a sudden. Pietreczko was not expecting Wenig to miss that double 12. But now that he has, double 16 would break Lucas.
Game shot.
10 point. That is an opportunity missed for Lucas. You can see in the background the shaking of the head. Tells you everything you need to know. After that, may be very important for the stability of the season that he will have.
And you mentioned Max Hopp, another
133.
German who's been victorious in his opening match, getting the better of Jeffrey de Graaf, coming through a decider in order to do so. And I'm pleasantly surprised by what I'm
59.
seeing from Max Hopp at the start of this year.
Yeah, I'd agree. When he got his tour card back, I was sitting back thinking, I'm not sure what to expect.
65.
And what we're going to get from Ricardo here, because he's very creative when it comes to approaching certain shots. 105 maybe. That's what he's thinking. Get to a two-darter.
$60.
Ricardo's such an interesting one, isn't he? Because if you remember back to last year, where he played Ross Smith on the Euro Tour, and it was an incredibly difficult watch, actually. I think he made it through one leg of that
140.
contest before saying he couldn't go any further. It's a reoccurring injury that he gets with his wrist, but it doesn't seem to hinder him in the interim. And very interesting here, double 14. And it's pinned. That is superb. You talk about the routes that he goes. And there was a mighty fine example. It's got to feel right, or maybe there wouldn't be as big a chance of him winning one of them if he had elected to and found it quite difficult.
I think he would have been here if he was playing in Munich at the weekend. I think he would have found a way.
100.
Yeah, a bit of a drive to Munich, or a train ride, but it will be Easter off for a lot of the dart players. But it is Rotterdam this week, as this darting
90.
week goes all Dutch. Apart from Germany at the weekend.
128.
Well, an opportunity arising here for Lucas Wenig, because Ricardo's just having a bit of an off leg. Really
58.
struggling to find a big treble.
And if your opponent's having an off leg, you've got to take advantage, which he does.
Shot.
It does feel like Wenig is more of a 6-visit guy in this match, whereas Ricardo's more likely to have those 5-visit legs, if not better. One of the favourites for the title today, Damon Heta. He's yet to win this season. He's won 6-5 against Adam Hunt.
140.
This game could be over in 6 darts if Ricardo can find a big score here and a finish. And of course, if Lucas doesn't take the 161.
100.
And it's the same score that Ricardo Pietreczko has left himself on for the match. And he is going to get a look at it.
137.
You're not going to take it. That's exactly what you want. But this is a chance to be in round number 2.
But just drifts the wrong side of the wire. And it's opportunity over.
87.
and not able to get second best like Lucas Wenig was.
Got to hit this.
18.
And because he doesn't, Ricardo is now fully focused on the fact that 6-3 is very possible. Spots like this, you've got to guarantee at least one dart at a double, but he would love to have two. And if it's two, he'll expect to win right now.
Double 16, he does get two at double, only needs the one to get over the line and wrap up a 6-3 success. Some really sharp shooting at times from Ricardo Pietreczko in that match. Nathan Aspinall taking on Adam Lipscomb, which could be a really tasty encounter on board two. That's just got underway with
100.
Dan Dawson and Paul Nicholson talking you through the action there. Lauby with an opportunity with the second biggest finish
60.
in the game to get an early break of throw in this one. Looks to use the bull. Really good thinking there from Danny Lauby, but it's Beveridge now. Another one in there for a double-double finish.
Shot.
That's exactly what Beveridge gets. A lovely start.
$94. 57.
No dart at the bull at the end of this combination. Will Beveridge
139.
unable to get the first part of the equation right? So
60.
this match could continue in the exact same trend.
Game shot.
And it does. Could well be Danny's opportunity to find the break of throw that he
180.
needs. And that's exactly what he's carving out for himself. He's making his move. This is a very good performance at the moment from
81.
the American.
$84.
Excellent stuff to leave himself on tops after 12.
$140. Game
This
shot.
is a really clinical showing at the moment from Danny Lauby. He gets that break of throw that is pivotal.
$94.
You could see him shaking his head there, Darren Beveridge, because he's not left a finish
100.
after 9, but Danny Lauby quite a way back at the moment.
98.
Well, they're certainly not lost.
$60.
Double 8.
Game shot.
That is so clinical.
$97.
Tops. No, he didn't.
60.
Thought he could find a route through to the treble 20 bet. So for the match and to set up a meeting with Ricardo Pietreczko.
62.
One more chance
30.
to save it. Well, he'd been so clinical when he'd had opportunities up to that point. But 3 darts have come and gone to extend this contest. Beveridge now to seal his passage through. Been a really enjoyable
Game
contest,
shot,
and it is
match,
Beveridge
Beveridge
who secures a 3rd successive victory over the American, his 8th win on the floor in 2025. And he's going to be taking on Ricardo Pietreczko next. As you can see, really clinical when he got down to a finish. 55% checkout success, an average of just 92 in the end. But that 104 in leg 6 felt really, really crucial. We'll be back with last 64 action very shortly.
$180.
I said to expect plenty of those in this match from both of these players. There was Josh Rock's 2nd, and there is Connor Scutt's 1st. Immaculate grouping.
60.
Could have brought the bull into play there, Josh Rock. Opted to stay on the 20s.
82.
Double 16.
Game shot.
And it's found. From actually probably playing less darts now that he's got himself back on the tour.
140.
Double 16 now the target for Scutt.
102. $140.
Is double 16 left for Connor Scutt. Now next door.
No score.
Well, they're his first darts at double in this match. He's missed 4 of them.
Game shot.
And against Josh Rock in this form, they really do need to go.
$125.
And that's better from Connor Scutt because, yes, there have been
123.
4 maximums, but there hadn't been a great deal around them. This is more impressive. And with Rock unable to leave himself on a finish, another chance presents itself for Connor Scutt to get a first leg on the board.
171.
It's just exceptional, isn't it?
Game
From
shot.
Josh Rock, but he's not going to get a look despite that setup. Can he add another?
140. $140.
What an exceptional contest this is turning out to be.
90.
Rock with scoring from the gods for much of this match.
57.
But Scutt starting to up it himself now.
Game
And again,
shot.
pins double top. It's relentless scoring from both of these at the moment, isn't it?
180. $97.
I mentioned that they've met 5 times previously. Only once across those 5 meetings has Josh Rock averaged below 98.
140.
And you can see with the pace of this match why it suits him as much as it does.
100.
Been asked a lot of questions over the last few legs by Connor Scutt, but it's an 11 darter to stop the rot. It really is hard to imagine that he won't pick up a big title at some point in 2025.
180. 96. 180. 180.
These two are going absolutely berserk. Double 20
Game
is
shot.
found. Well, these two are knocking absolute lumps out of each other at the moment. And neither
60.
of them are really faltering. It's just getting better and better.
180. 180.
An absolutely incredible contest to bring it to a conclusion
Game
with
shot
an
and the match,
11
Josh Rock.
darter. Absolutely sublime stuff from both of these players. A marvellous match with power scoring from the gods from both of the players. 9 180s hit from Connor Scutt in defeat. Did not do a great deal wrong, but 60% checkout success from Josh Rock. 109.5 average across those 10 legs that were played, and he is through to the last 32, and at this point you would not discount him from going all the way and picking up a second title of the year.
$100. 138. 140. 83.
'It's always going to be difficult for this game to
96.
reach the lofty heights of what we saw in the last game on the streaming board, but for a level game, double 9 for Slevin.
Game shot.
And how couldn't you be excited about Doets versus Slevin? Slevin, I think, has been playing some excellent
Yeah.
darts this year and
57.
taking a fair few scalps.
Yeah, it was excellent in his opener today.
140.
Not as excellent as Josh Rock
Wow.
by the looks of it earlier. Oh, hang on. Bullseye for Doets for 2 apiece.
139.
Can't take the 164. Slevin may be looking at the ball at the end of this one himself. Needs that treble 18.
91.
Not to be, so after back-to-back breaks in this one, back-to-back holds, it's double 8 for Doets.
9.
More opportunities missed. He had 3 to break Slevin in the last leg,
Game shot.
and he's punished again.
What's the setup shot like?
60.
How has he not found a treble there?
$43.
But it's loose from Slevin.
$109.
Oh, that's a lovely lead from 141 for Kevin Doets. Slevin's going to get a dart. Where's he looking? How
Oh
have you
my
done
gosh.
this? How have you done this?
No score.
He has managed from 102 to miss a big number and not get a dart at double. From 108, managed to bust his score's second dart. And for the second leg running, Dylan Slevin has made a horrendous mess of things.
Game shot.
He trails this game to Kevin Doets. Yeah, the darts are being snatched out
Yeah.
the board. He is not a happy lad, having been
60.
3-1 up. He has made a mess of a couple of opportunities.
He's not out of it. He's 3 legs he's got to win. He's got to win the good way. Hold, break, hold.
138.
But it's in this situation, in these scenarios, we've talked about the conditions up in the streaming boards. You start to feel them that little bit more. You could see him wiping his brow. All those exterior factors start
60.
to... You start to feel them that little bit more.
Well, this would end it. Double top.
87.
Match start missed by Kevin Doets. He's very nearly won 5 legs on the spin. He may get another chance. Can he get one of these combos right, Dylan Slevin? Maybe. Double 18.
80.
Might be the last dart he throws in this one. And he has chunked it away because there's another one of those shots that has gone wrong.
But that goes right for Kevin Doets, who does eventually find his way through. It was messy from Dylan Slevin, who missed the big number on a 102 in the following leg. Busts a 108 with the second dart, and Kevin Doets, it wasn't always pretty. 26% checkout success in that one, and with a mid-80s average, has found enough to get the better of Slevin and seal his spot in round 3.
Does he ever?
135.
I don't know, when he hit his first 9, he looked pretty pleased then. He'd waited a long time for that.
Well,
100.
reaction to me, I think he genuinely said in Dutch,
Yeah.
about time.
Yeah. Which is such a Dirk thing to say, isn't it?
180.
And that is a Dirk thing to do. Normally see him do a lot of that.
Oh, we've got another German through to the last 16. It's Leon Weber, who's beaten Ted Everts.
46.
Leon Weber joining Ricardo Pietreczko in the last 16 as Dirk eyes up the double 16.
17.
Well, Gruellich isn't even halfway down from 501, so Dirk's got plenty of time here.
$100.
Gruellich. This is an opportunity to get his nose in front for the first time in this game.
100.
This is pretty solid stuff from the young German. Managed to hold throw twice. He's been there causing problems for Dirk
57.
in the legs against the darts, and he's going to pose some problems here.
And he is going to get a dart at the bull.
85.
Sides just to set it up.
I admit, I thought he was looking at the bullseye as well, but
86.
evidently the single 14 to leave double 18.
Game shot.
And that is a 14 darter. It is a break of throw, though, the first one of the match, and Gruellich hits the front for the first time in this game. He has not been so far. This is really good.
140.
5 perfect darts at the start of the leg. Needed to find something, needed some inspiration.
92.
Well, he could go to the bullseye next dart if he wanted. Go anywhere he likes. Came down for the 19s. Well, look at that. What a setup shot that is.
165.
180, 140, 165. Just as it looked as though Dirk van Duijvenbode was on the ropes in this match.
99.
He has dug in and found something.
Game shot.
Well, that is a 10-dart leg from the Ober Genius. It is only a hold of throw, but that is the sort of stuff that Dirk van Duijvenbode is capable of doing, and if he does much more of it in this game, he could easily turn it around. But Max Hop and Andrew Gilding, that's tight. It's 3-2 Hop. And this one, there's not much between them either. Our winner is coming
59.
from that bunch. And there's not many who've already won this year.
Yeah, and we will see the winner of that Max Top Andrew Gilding
58.
game up next on this streaming board, taking on Jan van Veen. That'll be in the last 16.
Well, that was probably the worst it's been for Gruellich there. It was a real lurch, and he just had to start the whole process again.
105.
But you can see that's how he's dealing with it. It's in the release that's the issue, so he just starts the whole process from putting the dart back in the other hand, transfers it, and starts again. And it's worked very well for him so far today. There's pressure now from Duijvenbode.
And there it is again. But double 12. There you see him just stopping, resetting.
Game
And
shot.
it works beautifully for him. That second dart, how? Because he didn't actually start the process again with that second dart. He just carried on going and still found the treble.
I think it's a miraculous visit from
94.
Dominic Gruellich.
$92.
Andrew Gilding never won a Pro Tour title. He's made a number of finals, made a Euro Tour final, a whole host of floor tournament finals, never won
97.
one. Did, of course, famously win the UK Open, which trumps the lot.
$100.
Leaves a one treble combo. Bullseye's an option that he eschews, and it
140.
pays off because he gets the treble. Single 9. Couldn't take the 106 in the last leg.
Game
Does
shot.
take the 109 this leg. Holds of throw across the board so far. Different equation from Andrew Gilding. But he's able to go over the top of that one. Right back in this leg, Gilding.
$97.
Oh, he should be leaving tops from there.
140.
And does do. It's a lovely setup. Awkward, this, potentially. Leaves double 11. Oh, nothing awkward about that. Superbly taken out by Jan van Veen.
$140.
Van Veen first to a finish. Yet to see a maximum in this game. Gilding would love one right now.
$100.
Has to make do with a ton. Leaves a one treble combo. Van Veen for a 4-visit leg has to be perfect. That's a good start. And he continues it. Bullseye for Van Veen. He is deadly as a bullseye hitter. And he's not far off,
142.
but can't pin it to break and lead. Can he find the treble? Always look difficult.
60.
Double 8. Is found by Van Veen. It's a 14-dart break of throw, and Jan van Veen goes into the lead for the first time. The 22-year-old from Pietreczko, just down the road here from Rosmalen.
$85.
A lot of exciting things happening with Dutch darts at the minute. Duijvenbode coming back into form. Jermaine Watermanu is playing beautifully.
140.
Jan van Veen and Wessel Nyman scintillating. Danny Noppert has gone off the boil, it has to be said. And Michael van Gerwen is literally losing as many games as he wins, if not more, this year.
140.
But with Van Veen and Nijman and Watermena,
132.
the next few years could see an awful lot of success for Dutch darts, and it might not be involving MVG as much as you'd think. Van Veen's left 170. Forces Gilding to go for this and maybe take it out. He
Game
does
shot.
take it out. That's a 12-darter. Magnificent from Gilding. Always looked like a matter of time before he started winning things. How much is he going to win? He could win
145.
loads. Wonderful setup shot to leave 120.
$60.
Treble, single, double. That leaves the double.
100. $100. Game shot.
It's another 14-dart leg from Jan van Veen. Andrew Gilding must win 3 on the spin. His first 180.
$97.
Could turn this around, Gilding.
$100.
Vital last dart. He could just stay there.
138.
Well, the markers are good, and he's going to may only get 1 dart at double. If he got another treble 20 there, yes, it'd be 26, but he could always burn a dart to get a dart at what he wanted. May not matter, because it's the bullseye for Gilding. And the bullseye is pinned
shot.
by Gilding. Andrew Gilding with his best leg of the match, a 12-darter, breaks the throw and has the darts in a last leg decider. He's also the highest seed, number 10 seed here today. Sedlacek, the only unseeded player left standing in the tournament. Even Martin Lukman snuck in as the number 32 seed today.
100.
This is some setup. What a setup.
177.
177 gets him down to a 2-darter. I knew this ain't bad.
140. $80.
Well, 4 perfect darts to give himself the chance, but he's missed tops and tens.
$48.
And for the second leg running, Damon Heta in a combination shot gets 1 at the outer ring, which he cannot hit. And for the second leg running, Karel Sedlacek tidies things up on double 10, 2-0. It's very aggressive stuff from Heta, going on the 20s from 306. You're seeing more players do it, but perhaps decreases your chances of leaving a
100.
finish.
$96.
The 11s. Now the ball.
96.
That is so close to 3-0 for Karel Sedlacek. But Heta may not be close enough to capitalise. Treble 17. Oh, what a shot this would be. Double top. What
Game
a
shot.
shot, Damon Heta. He needed it. First 180 of the contest, and it comes from the check. But that's just to get him back level with Heta in this leg.
100.
He Absolutely sensible.
94.
Was. Staying on the 20s was not the play there. 130 is a better shot than the 128. But he's still unable to take it out.
44.
Messy. This is why it's a trickier shot. He needs another treble, and he can't get it.
62 left. 76.
Staying on the 18s. Leaves double 7. That
Game
is
shot.
another leg for Damon Heta. The finishing in the last 3 legs has been excellent. 151, 62, 86. 2 legs against the darts. He's in control of this game now when he was a dart away from being 3-0 down. You could make a case that he's not playing quite as well as he was on the floor or on the Pro Tour for the last 2 or 3 years, and yet he is consistent
59.
in the final knock-ins of these events.
$91.
Sedlacek leaves the 170. Heta needs a treble to leave any kind of finish.
100.
He's done it.
$58.
Oh, to add to the 151. Double 16. Oh, and it's
Game
magnificent from Damon Heta. This is world-class finishing. But he's still persisting by playing at this pace. He believes that's the most effective version of himself.
139.
Sometimes he will slow it down to try and calibrate things. Give himself an extra second or so. He's in the treble there.
133.
Well, don't let him have a go at that, Carol. Double 8. Double 4.
72.
Well, he has let him have a go. Can he cap off this incredible display of finishing with a 1-3-5 combination? Oh, he might do it. That
Game
is
shot and the match.
unbelievable. That is genuinely incredible from Damon Heta. Finishing from the gods, from the man from down under. Looks to be getting back to the sort of state where he can win big
58.
titles. He's already picked up his first ever Euro Tour. He nearly went back to back. Doing things on the floor he's not done in ages. Winning in the Premier League again.
68.
He doesn't mind Rotterdam, so he'll be looking forward to that on Thursday night.
140.
Is it 2-2? It might be. Very close to a chance at double 18.
97.
Nathan can make it 3-1 with a break of throw. Double 12. Oh, it's right in the corner. Him in mid-90s, of course. That's what he does all the time.
They've all had
140.
a little bit of fortune today. Johnny Clayton hasn't had to survive a match start, but Nathan Aspinall had to survive 3 against Adam Lipscomb in his very first game of the day.
120.
Another one of those that just slap into the board sideways by the look of it.
Yeah, straight into the flights. And those flights are a lot more rigid than the ones he used to use.
Which he says is part of the reason why, when he's playing
99.
well, his scoring is really, really good. But there's often a sort of downside to equipment you use.
Johnny himself has gone to the moulded technology recently.
42.
And a slightly different dart this year as well. He'd used the previous ones for many
82.
seasons. So having that change at the start of 2025 was a big decision to make.
Yeah, but the two players who have tweaked their equipment, it doesn't seem to have done them any
96.
harm. But yeah, Johnny Clayton, the only player of our Final Four who is not having to survive match starts at some point today as he looks at tops.
42.
Yeah, there was one match start in that quarter-final with Schindler. The one that hit. Just one. So many games today
131.
would involve multiple match starts, but a game that involved one,
Game shot.
just like that leg. It's 3-3. Things have turned around. And
He's not someone who looks at the scoreboard that often.
Yeah, he shouldn't have started on 20s on 299.
137.
Case in point.
162 left by Johnny. Nathan Aspinall, no need to take this out, which is a good job for him.
96.
Go for the ball, he won't. Well,
100.
he gets the treble to leave 62, so he is on a 2-darter.
Nathan's on a 1-darter.
54.
That was always going to be short. As soon as it was part of the action. Break of throw imminent.
Game shot.
And it's classic Clayton. This is what he does to you. You give him anything with double 16 at the end, he will have you for any meal he sees fit.
Is this a little spell where Nathan Aspinall can make his scoring power pay?
85.
Oh, look at this.
He hasn't missed a first dart in this leg.
82.
That's sensible. It's been so scrappy from Johnny in this leg.
55.
But you just got to make sure that Johnny doesn't get a shot. Just get a steady 60 here, or something akin to that.
52.
Polish off the job and move on, and try and repeat the trick.
He went the 16s route because he blocked his path to the 20s, but he does
85.
like the double 16. It is his preference, so maybe sacrificing a dart to get there isn't a bad plan. But he did miss all three at it last time.
Game
Not
shot.
this time. Breaks back immediately. 4 apiece in this one. Nathan Aspinall. He will kill you with kindness, Johnny Clayton, because it's impossible to fall out with him. Let's see what he does leave, because he wants to leave 50.
What if Johnny scores 43?
That's a fair point.
45.
Well, he couldn't even stay straight, which would have at least left the 170.
$45.
Just for good measure, he scores 45 instead. Needs a treble, really.
65.
But that's okay. Takes the ball out of the equation unless he blocks the 60.
$100.
All depends where this lands. Straight down the neck of it. And tops.
100.
Dart missed for 6-4. And it wasn't the game, but he'd be so close. All tops, he didn't want this. He wanted double 16.
28.
And he does not get double top. That is a slight error from Johnny Clayton. Not a huge one. He got 2 darts for the leg. He couldn't take them. This for 6-4.
Game shot.
6-4 it is. And did you notice, Dan, that when he was on tops with 1 dart left, he was looking at the scoreboard. He was distracted. And you are now 241 points away from doubling it.
100.
This one game is the equivalent of making another semi-final. And if you win the tournament, it's like winning 3 of them.
The 4th of August 2022 was the last time Nathan Aspinall was in a Pro
60.
Tour final, a Players' Championship final. Could be going there again. Right now on double 12.
77.
Why is it? But he'll get more chances.
140.
That's Players' Championship 13. And it's a
Game shot
13th
and a
final
match.
for Nathan Aspinall. Johnny's going to have to wait for his 13th. But Nathan has just done himself the world of good in the Players' Championship race. He looks in very sharp nick, and he has got a record of playing exceptionally well in finals.
171.
Here we go. This is what we wanted.
$59.
That's what we didn't get from Clayton in the previous game, unfortunately, because he did make some tactical errors against Nathan. Nathan was fully the better player in that contest, though he dug so deep. Like he always
94.
does.
Yeah, it is, of course, the characteristic that is associated with the Asp, but it's been
100.
great, actually, over recent months to show that he's not just about digging deep and showing that steely determination. He can also tear opponents apart. He can put in those dominant displays.
Last year in Players' Championship 18, where Damon last tasted success.
45.
And they're now both part of the European Tour winning club. Damon hasn't won since Gibraltar 2022, though, which was
93.
around about the same time that Nathan was last winning one of these.
$83.
Well, Heta scoring beautifully at the start of this one.
$96.
Double after 12 is, a lot of the time, enough to at least get a shot to win the leg.
60.
Especially when you've got the darts.
Game shot.
Classic. It's not necessarily about fallout. It's about the reaction of the dart when it hits the board and thereafter.
100.
Duijvenbode, same upright angle. And you're not penetrating the board as much as you maybe once were, or something's changed technically. That board will receive what is thrown, and what's going in is pointing
58.
to the sky a little bit more.
Doesn't get a look at double 12.
104.
But gets the next best prize. Sets things up beautifully.
64.
Could he make it back-to-back 13 dart legs?
Game shot.
Of course he can.
You've really got to watch out if Damon's starting to hit tops and double 16. When somebody's won the last time, the other person wins the next time. So it's gone Damon, Nathan, Damon, Nathan,
115.
Damon, Nathan, Damon. So it, in a pattern sense, is Nathan's turn to win. But at this point in time, it looks less likely because Damon is the
59.
better player in this final so far.
Well, we have seen Damon on the floor average in excess of 116, but what he's doing right now in the final of one of
45.
these events really is something special.
Oh, we know he's got a ceiling.
Yeah.
And that 116 was not a fluke, because on a stage he's done even
57.
Yeah, Nathan looked a little dejected in the background there, didn't he? Even if he was
58.
finding the trebles with more regularity, it'd be difficult to live with what Damon Heta's doing right now. Of course, he's capable of doing so.
Game
But
shot.
this is incredibly hard to live with right now, isn't it?
Yeah, isn't it just? Well, Damon's very buoyant in the 180 department. Look at that, 4-0 up.
136.
He's scoring brilliantly, he's approaching well, he's finishing so well he could probably finish soup with chopsticks.
60.
And he's got that look of intensity right now.
$89.
Great bullseye at the end. But Damon's going to fancy this the way he's playing. Not anymore.
89.
And this, Nathan Aspinall will know, really does need to go. And that's because Damon Heta has been deadly on double 16. One dart at double 13.
Game
And
shot.
he pins it. That's excellent from the Asp.
Yeah, it really is. And if you look at him, he looks a lot more energetic than he was in the final in Risa against Bunting.
139.
He's done pretty
100.
well there. He might need that combination shot. Now that he gets a look at it. When he missed that second treble just now, Aspinall,
71.
he's thinking to himself, don't you dare take that 142. Give me a look at whatever I leave.
But I'm sure there would have been a part of him that expected Damon Heta to take it out.
53 left. Tops is a must.
Game shot.
That is superb from Nathan Aspinall. The 3 legs he's won in this match have all been in 15 darts. Well, I mentioned that Aspinall is getting better. Damon Heta, he's just not deviated, is he, from that
60.
107 to 110 range, which sounds ludicrous to say. But the Asp should be and will be on a more
96.
makeable outshot here if Heta can't take out this Shanghai.
But he might.
Game shot.
And he does. Applause there from Aspinall. I think he understands now just how well Damon is playing.